All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike Cerini. I'm the Council President of the 34th Dearborn City Council, and thank you all for being here today. Today we're here to speak regarding our flooding mitigation and water management situations that we have here in Dearborn. Going back to August of 2018 at a council meeting, I stated that we had several complaints from residents about water backing up, street water standing inside, with only 2 inches of rainwater at that time. I publicly called for an independent third-party investigation of our sewer system. However, I could not get my colleagues to move it forward. In June 2021, our city was hit with a devastating rainfall and flooding event that we've never seen before. Our system was inadequate, and it failed. Our residents lost thousands of dollars in property, memories that they could not get back, but more importantly, they lost trust in their city government. Needless to say, I then was able to get support to begin the bid process to find a firm that had the expertise and experience to give us an accurate picture of our flood mitigation needs. I'm proud to stand in front of you today and say that thanks to our combined efforts of the Public Works Department and our city engineers and our vendor, OHM advisors, we have concluded this comprehensive study. The study provides a real framework. It also helps us understand the long-term and short-term water infrastructure needs in dollars so that we can properly budget. While we were waiting for the study results, we did not sit idly by. As you will hear in a minute from our mayor, he will explain that we embarked on key short-term projects that will make us flood ready right now today. The near and long-term projects that you'll hear about in a minute are born out of our commitment we made some time ago. We are dedicated to marshal every resource and to make sure that our city never has a June 2021 again in Dearborn. Thank you very much, and now we have Mayor Abdullah Mahmoud.
Good afternoon. I'm asking you to bear with me. This is a longer than traditional press conference that I'm typically hosted, but we want to walk you through actually a PowerPoint presentation of sorts that'll highlight what we've been doing and what we have yet to do. So this month actually marks a little over 4 years since Dearborn experienced that widespread catastrophic flooding in 2021. And just a few months after that, I was elected to serve as the mayor of the city on the promise that we would better prepare our city for flood events and heavy rain events in the future. To date, we've invested over $25 million in flood preparedness and stormwater management, and we're only getting started. We're going to share the results of the multi-year study that we conducted with OHM, the contractor that was selected to conduct that study, talk about what the administration has been doing in the meantime, and also speak to some of the long-term projects that we have yet to do that we're in the phases of planning out now. So on the study facts, this study revealed to us that based on our capacity, our stormwater infrastructure system is only able to handle about 3.5 inches of rainwater per 3.5 inches of stormwater per rain event. Being the most downstream community also adds to our limited ability to move water out of our system fast enough during severe rain events. Our flooding study therefore recommends that we have to do what we can to increase capacity, understanding that it's extremely expensive to do so. So we're embarking on 5 major projects in areas most heavily impacted by flooding and basement backups. More on the long-term projects near the end of the presentation. The city is taking a multifaceted and comprehensive approach to identify the root causes of flooding in order to find out how we can mitigate them. While the study was underway, as the council president said, we did not just sit idly by. We're actually working through as our answers were coming in. And so we're building resilience, we're being proactive and prepared, and what we have done has already yielded results. In the last year alone, a number of storm events actually impacted many neighboring Southeast Michigan communities. What we saw in Dearborn was actually less street flooding and near minimal to no basement flooding. Today, I'm pleased to share with you how we got here and where we're going in the future. Since 2022, we focused our work on tackling high-risk areas of flooding first. We began by removing over 50 log jams over a 2.5-mile stretch along the Rouge River. This single effort lowered the river water levels by more than 1 foot, and it also increased the river's capacity and helping water move more quickly through Dearborn. That means less water pooling in our neighborhoods and less opportunity for flooding. Furthermore, this summer, we also renewed a contract for flood monitoring systems that report the status and severity of water levels in areas of the city with a higher risk of pooling stormwater and flooding. We're actually the first city in Michigan to deploy this type of comprehensive smart flood infrastructure. And because of our monitoring efforts, we know that the log jam cleanups have delivered exceptional results. We're actually moving water out of our city at a 70% faster rate during rain events, which is remarkable. We look towards the neighborhoods that were hit the hardest in flooding events also in the past years. So for example, on Morrow Circle, we converted 24 residential easements along Morrow Circle into bioswales that can hold up to 40,000 gallons of water per rain event. And this is our pilot project. Our hope is to scale up this initiative on easements that would qualify throughout road construction happening across our city. We've also invested in building a greener Dearborn. And to do this, we have prioritized a number of projects that expands Dearborn's green footprint, including we introduced a new stormwater retention and water usage technology at one of our public parks, Peace Park West. Underground at Peace Park West are actually 4 tanks that store 15,000 gallons of water each, allowing us to store up to 60,000 gallons of rainwater. That rainwater is naturally filtered and actually goes back to be utilized through our irrigation system. So the rainwater we're collecting at this park is literally recycled back to help grow all the greenery that we have across this park system. It's pretty impressive and pretty remarkable to see in real time. We've installed permeable pavements in many of our parks where the work has begun, and are also working on new green infrastructure pathways. Trees are actually one of our greatest tools, which is why we've invested more city dollars in trees than ever before historically. We've even launched a free tree program to any resident that would like. Not only free trees in your easements, but also free trees onto your private properties, which you don't hear happening in any other city across Michigan. We've worked in the South End with our partners at the schools, in particular Salina School, to construct the Green Schoolyard program. We helped secure over $2 million in resources through the state budgeting process to help expand the Green Schoolyard program, which assists with absorbing more rainwater than ever before on the Salina School property. And as a city, we continue to work with partners like Friends of the Rouge to plant rain gardens throughout our city. We actually have several on city properties, including a Centennial Library, Bryant Library, and more. And they also assist in educating residents on how to do the same. We hosted free rain garden courses for many of our residents and anybody that would like to participate in contract with Friends of the Rouge. But we know that this is not enough, which is why we're also investing directly into our stormwater system. The city's engineering division continues to clear out the Colson-Palmer line. This is actually a 12-foot wide pipe that over the years has become clogged with debris. The line was originally intended to transport up to 7 million gallons, but presently we only have capacity to store about 3 million gallons of rainwater per storm event. By restoring it to its full service, the city will be able to add to its capacity by an estimated 4 million gallons of stormwater per rain event. That work is ongoing and happening right now. We're committed to working with our contractors to progress that clearing of the pipeline and for years to come. We've also hired within our Public Works division a 4-person team that will go through the over 11,000 catch basins across our city to clear them out with our Vector trucks, ensuring that water can escape clearly to the nearest catch basins. Now, additional projects that we're doing in the short term. We're planning on forced mains or pumps at Baby Creek and Miller. We've investigated 2 forced mains or pumps at key locations in the east and south end. These will be utilized only in cases where we have a catastrophic rain event that has overwhelmed our systems and indicating that we're on the verge of potentially flooding across our city. In short, what these pumps will allow us to do is push out water at a far faster rate out of our system and into the river, clearing water much faster. And just last week, we successfully tested a decommissioned outfall pipe at the Miller pumping station as part of this investigation. These 2 forced mains will affect over 12,600 homes in the eastern part of Dearborn. Additionally, we're also working on grade protection stations and flat gates. Thanks to a federal grant, 4 flat gates and 2 pumps will be installed in the eastern Dearborn Sewer District, serving neighborhoods roughly bound by Michigan Avenue, Greenfield Avenue, Warren Avenue, and Chase Road. These structures will act essentially as a backflow preventer for an entire neighborhood, isolating the sanitary sewers in these neighborhoods from the combined sewer system. We're expected to protect roughly 13,600 residents, or a little over 3,200 homes, from basement flooding for storm events similar to what we saw in 2021. And for a reminder for those who might not be aware, in 2021, we received a little over 5.8 inches of rainwater in that 24-hour period. For reference, some 20,000 homes flooded in 2021 in total. These same neighborhoods in the East End will see hundreds of new manhole covers that will also direct rainwater away from the sanitary system into dedicated stormwater lines. We're also planning the construction of 2 new stormwater lines to serve that area. After these short-term efforts, which are already underway, we will ensure that even when streets flood, basements do not. What do we want to do in the long term? This is a long-term project and a long-term horizon. As the council president alluded, we had OHM conduct our study to give us a fuller picture of our infrastructure needs, not only to provide us information on what went wrong, but most importantly, what we have to do to get it right. And ultimately, what he recommends is that sewer separation is the most cost-effective solution that will also attribute to us adding capacity to our system across the city. Out of this recommendation comes our first design for a massive new stormwater line project we're calling Notre Dame, or Project 1. This massive project alone will affect some 800 acres throughout our city. And because any drop of rainwater taken out of the combined sewer system is a way to increase capacity in the entire system, this will have drastic effects for the entirety of the capacity across our city. We're already in talks with Ford Motor Company, Greenfield Village, and the county about moving this ambitious project forward. We have 4 more such projects that we will plan, design, and construct in the years to come. To pay for these projects, we also have an agreement in place now with the Army Corps of Engineers. We were placed in the congressional budget, in particular the WRDA budget, that happens once every 2 years, thanks to our Congresswoman and to our U.S. Senators. That triggers the Army Corps of Engineers to come into the city of Dearborn and to conduct a thorough investigation. Upon doing so and upon completion, what tends to happen is the Army Corps of Engineers can then submit to a following congressional budget a large grant that will assist the city of Dearborn in paying for these projects. Our message today is clear, that this is just the beginning, that we've been working over the last 4 years on addressing flooding concerns. We're doing the basics better, and we're also investing in short-term and long-term solutions to give residents the confidence to continually invest within the city of Dearborn. Each time we have a significant rain event, I can't tell you how many calls we get from families, from parents, from residents who are still stressed and concerned over the basements flooding because of what we encountered in 2021. And to the council president's remarks, much of the damage that occurred in that time in people's basements also dealt with memorabilia that was priceless, that they will never be able to regain. And so our hope is that we do more than just instill confidence, that we demonstrate in short and long-term efforts through the dedication of multi-million dollars of resources through these efforts, the confidence that flooding is to occur at a far less likely rate within the city of Dearborn by adding capacity. We're working with our county partners, we're working with our state partners, and we're working with our federal partners to ensure that we can receive the resources necessary to tackle these events. And so at this time, I'll open it up for any questions. I know we'll have a whole deck of information that'll go out to the press, so you have these materials before you. It's fairly dense. We're trying to simplify it, and we have a whole series of social media posts that'll go out after, breaking down each and every single one of these investments as well.
What's the time frame like for obtaining this financial help and putting this plan into the
So for the short-term projects, our hope is that we already have some resources allocated, and we're in pursuit of some other resources and have some strong feelings about receiving those resources. We think those projects are probably in a 1 to 3 year timeline, which is extremely great. As it pertains to the long-term projects, you're going to need a little bit over $400 million. And those projects to tackle over 800 acres of space across the city will also take north of 10, 15 years. And so that's kind of the timeline in terms of the construction and allocating the resources.
Can you speak a little bit to things that maybe you spoke about we've done so far? Idle
Yeah.
How much does that help us now?
Yeah, I mean, flooding is essentially a mathematical equation. And the reality is, as much floodwater as you have down, you have to be able to store this. Whether you're storing in green space across the city, or whether you're storing in your stormwater infrastructure system underground. When we identified the Colson Palmer line, and credit to the DPW team, this actually was identified through a conversation I had when I held roundtables with every division across the city. And the folks that were doing the work had said, are you aware that we have a 12-foot diameter pipe that stretches 2 miles long? That is half out of capacity. Half of its capacity is already out of use. And when we sent a team down there to look through it, that's exactly what it was. And so to take a line that was designed to hold 7 million gallons of water that we already have constructed, to just clear out the debris and construct a flood wall, that will add 4 million gallons immediately without having to add any new lines to our system. So those types of investments are the best bang for your buck. The 25 million we've already rolled out, that was through CDBG disaster relief funds, just as an FYI. All right, thank you all so much.